The White River National Forest is the most visited national forest in the United States. It extends across 2.3 million acres in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. It is home to 8 wilderness areas, 12 ski resorts, and 10 fortinas. It offers many outdoor activities including hiking, skiing, camping, and climbing. Along with recreational activities, the White River National Forest is home to deer, elk, mountain goats, mountain lion, and a multitude of other species. The White River National Forest was preceded by the White River Plateau Timberland Reserve, a 1.1 million acre reserve which was created by President Benjamin Harrison in October of 1891. In 1901, when President Roosevelt came into office, he decreased the size of the reserve by 61,000 acres in 1902, and again by an astounding 159,000 acres in 1904. In 1905, Congress decided to pass an act changing the name from Forest Reserves to National Forest, since the term Forest Reserves implies that the area is locked up for future use. In 1932, Chief Forester R.Y. Stewart established the Flat Tops Primitive Area, which encompassed a total of 118,230 acres, found in not only the White River National Forest, but also in the Rote National Forest. This area is categorized by an IUCN Category 1B or Wilderness Area, meaning that any land development is prohibited. The forest continued to expand in the 1970s as the Green Mountain Reserve and the Blue River Corridor were added to the National Forest defined areas. The White River National Forest is classified as an IUCN Category 6 or protected area with substantial use of natural resources, meaning that a portion of the area should remain in its natural condition. The White River National Forest was originally set apart to maintain its various natural areas and protect the pristine conditions or resources, which would later contribute to the creation of some of the world's best outdoor recreational facilities. Many communities are located within the White River National Forest, including Aspen Snowmass, Dillon, Frisco, Carbondale, and more. Since people are still residing in counties that are located within the perimeters of the National Forest, it is unlikely that anyone was forced to give up their home or community for the creation and expansion of this national forest. The White River National Forest has many threats. Since it is the #1 visited national forest in the country, tourism is a huge threat. With more and more tourists each year, natural areas like historical hikes and ski resorts are being overrun and damaged. Another threat White River National Forest has is the extinction of historical properties and heritage resources. These two threats are a big concern for the White River National Forest, which may contain action in the future. However, the threat of wildfires is the biggest threat and the biggest concern for this natural and protected area. Wildfires are fires in areas of combustible vegetation that can be caused in numerous ways. In terms of the White River National Forest, wildfires can be caused by the forest being unhealthy. The indirect threats and underlying causes of wildfires include dead and dying trees, irresponsible actions, hot and dry weather, and the biggest one is the bark pine beetle. The outbreak of the pine beetle began in 1996. Since then, wildfires have been a major concern. By the end of 2013, the pine beetle killed over 200,000 trees in Colorado, a majority of them in the White River National Forest. Because this protected area covers such a vast area of land, wildfires can be very harmful and destructive. The pine beetle is and will continue to be a concern because it is the main reason for high fire danger in the White River National Forest. Concerning the threat of wildfires and how it has been managed, the Dillon Ranger District, as well as many forest engineering teams, have been focused on making White River National Forest healthier. The goal of the Dillon Ranger District is to reduce hazardous fuels in order to protect the forest, wildlife, and the surrounding communities from potential wildfire damage. The Dillon Ranger District and the forest engineering teams have taken action to help the forest and to help prevent the threat of wildfires. An example of this is that they have brought in logging teams to get rid of the dead and dying trees caused by the pine beetle. They have created many areas around Summit County for designated burning of slash piles full of the dead and dying trees. This has been a success since the terrible outbreak in 2013. Wildfire management in the White River National Forest is seen through many of the management principles of threats as well. The first major one is the principle of dealing with threats that may require long-term activity. Managing the threat of wildfires or natural disasters in general takes time and requires being a main priority for years in advance. The next management principle that is necessary for this particular threat is the immediate, decisive intervention to deal with some threats that may save significant future costs. Wildfires are a threat that need to be focused on immediately in order to reduce or prevent this natural disaster. The last management principle relating to this threat is that effective environmental planning processes are necessary to combat threats to protected areas. This principle is important toward the White River National Forest because this protected area needs time and attention to survive many years from now. The White River National Forest is a beautiful area with much to offer. The threats of tourism, heritage resources, and the wildfires are all a concern and are being monitored in order to protect this amazing area. This is a forest we want around for the rest of our lives. With lots to do and many things to see, the White River National Forest is a unique, protected area.